This is the best weapon in the DLC, dishing out tons of lightning damage with its weapon art called Flower Dragon Bolt. And the coolest part about the lightning that the weapon calls down is that it reduces the lightning damage negation of the enemy by 30%, which simply means that every consecutive weapon art does more damage. Or if you're threading in the new Knight's Lightning Spear, oh boy, you're just tearing those bosses apart. This build has two versions to be played in. One is with summons and the other one is without. The with summons makes everything so much more convenient because you'll get out Black Knight Commander Andreas, who's a super tank, and he'll just soak up the aggro from the enemy and he can literally not lose the aggro while you're using your weapon art and throwing out the lightning spears. And if you're playing it without summons, you essentially have to wait for your windows of opportunity. Use the weapon art to reduce the lightning damage negation, and then throw in your Knight's Lightning Spears whenever there's an opening, or just keep using the weapon art as it is actually very fast to get off. Now, the weapon in question is called the Flowerstone Gavel, weapon of the Dragon Communion Priestess. With the ability Flower Dragon Bolt, calls down the red lightning of the ancient dragons to strike a target, deals lightning damage, and also temporarily reduces the target's lightning damage negation. Can be charged to increase its power. Very important, because the lightning damage reduction is bigger the more charge the weapon has. So if you get the full charged off, it's the 30%, and with only tapping the button, you get 23% damage negation. Let me quickly walk you through a boss fight to show you how it goes down. You buff yourself with Golden Vow, drink your flask, refill your mana again with your potion. Then we're swapping to the Knight's Lightning Spear, move a bit up due to the range, reduce, boom, 8,000 damage, the lightning damage negation already, roll some out of the way, first Lightning Spear, and well, that's quite some damage, second Lightning Spear, and then you can just do the ability again. Boop. Done. Bullied. And now imagine this together with a summon if you're kind of struggling with the more aggressive bosses. But don't worry, you don't need it. It just makes it more convenient. And let me show you all the talismans that boost this and the location where to pick them up, how to get the Flowerstone Gavel, and also the stats required with level 150 and beyond. First, the star of the show, the Flowerstone Gavel. And that one will require some legwork on your part. You will have to make your way from the castle front side of Grace to the right all the way to the Dragon's Pit, then Dragon's Pit Terminus in the bottom, and to Bale the Dread. Yes, you're going up the mountain, foot of the Jack Peak, fight a bunch of dragons, and then fight the ginormous dragon at the top. But after killing Bale the Dread, you can teleport back and make your way to the right to the Grand Altar of Dragon Communion. And there will be this Dragon Priestess, but she will be gone, and in her place is the Flowerstone Gavel. Now, you can't actually kill her to get this early, so I cannot attack her in any way. I need to clear Bale away to pick up the hammer. And I'm putting an absolute broken bleed build in the description below to actually terminate Bale if you're struggling with him. Next up would be the Dragon Communion Seal, because we're using the Knight's Lightning Spear, which is a Dragon Communion sorcery, and it scales with Arcane instead of Faith, which works perfect because the Flowerstone Gavel scales with Arcane as well, which can actually be found at the very, very beginning of the game, down at the Stranded Graveyard where you start. And here you'll need 2 Stone Sword keys to make your way inside the Fringe Folk Hero Grave. That one is quite straightforward. You have this annoying chariot, which is trying to slice and dice you into pieces. But as you're ready for the DLC, you're actually able to tank quite some of the hits. Usually this would take you out, right? Especially in the beginning of the game, it would just hit you and bibbity boop, you dead. But now you more or less don't actually have to fear this. Sure, it could ride you over, but what's the worst thing that happens? You lose half your HP and then you regenerate. When you're essentially just full on sending it, maybe turn around that you don't get overrolled here in the middle part. But as you can see, I'm just pressing W. I'm not really playing this dungeon, right? And then you make your way upside to the right. So instead of going further down, you're actually going up. And further up. Past everything. And yeah, the thing can't even follow me. And then there is this Banished Knight. Oh, wow. It finally caught up. There's this Banished Knight that we'll just take out. And that's where we find the Dragon Communion Seal. Next up, my favorite talisman, Godfrey's Icon, which raises the attack power of sorceries, incantations, and skills if they're charged. And, well, the ability can be charged. Which, by the way, goes for the Knight's Lightning Spear as well, charged to increase the number of crests. We charge everything in here. That one is in the Altus Plateau, right next to the elevator at the Golden Lineage Evergale. You need a Stone Sword key for that as well. Can ride there from the Altus Highway Junction or from the Erdtree Gazing Hill through this underpass. Make yourself there, destroy him, looted. And since we're doing lightning damage with the actual ability and with the Knight's Lightning Spear, we're going to raise the lightning attack power but lower our damage negation. Makes sense. And that one is found at the Windham Catacombs. Beginning at the Erdtree Gazing Hill in the Altus Plateau, where we essentially were just a second ago, you ride upwards towards the Crony Crone up there, which is bending slightly forward. And then she's pointing straight up to the catacombs that you might have not known actually exists. I didn't until I needed the Scorpion Charm. It is all the way on top of this hill at the very end inside the mountainside. You can't actually miss it, and it is a pretty straightforward catacomb. Now let's make our way past that Tibia Marina. Through the ruin. And at the very end, there you go, Windham Catacomb. Activate the Site of Grace, and it's quite a straightforward one, with the only caveat that, well, you technically have to backtrack all the way later to kill the boss. Don't actually need to kill the boss for the Lightning Scorpion Charm. The enemies are a tad bit annoying. There are these imps that are throwing lightning bolts, but you ignore them. You simply just press the forward button and run through everything here. And they're going to be trying to kill you, but hey, we get feet. We can run. We're down here in the water. Be a bit careful because there's a knight that wields lightning. Make it up the ladder to the Tibbity Tobbity. Tall. And then this is where you dispel the fog wall. And zip zap, you get the Scorpion Charm. Done. For even more damage, we can take the Ritual Sword Talisman to raise attack power when HP is at maximum, and that is super easy to actually do, especially if you're using the Black Knight Commander Andreas summon. And yes, they did kill Radahn with this so easy it's not even funny anymore. And interestingly enough, it's also here at the Altus Plateau, and from the Altus Highway Junction, you ride back to the elevator into the Lux Ruins, and there's a cellar in the Lux Ruins with a Beast Queen, which drops the Ritual Sword Talisman. Last but not least would be the Shard of Alexander, which greatly boosts the attack power of skills. We're going to begin at the War Master's Shack, right in the first Limgrave starting zone. And then we're heading to the right alongside the road. Here you have two choices. You can either do the quest of Warrior Jar Alexander as you're playing through the main game, which will give you a bigger potency version of the talisman. I guess if you're going to play a lot, it's worth it. Right up to the right side. Or if you just do want to have it straight away, you're going to help him get out of the hole with a heavy attack, and then you're going to murder him straight away. Done. Congrats. Our armor is just simply Rakshasa's Armor, which allows us to do way more damage. You could technically play the Rock Hard to turn yourself into a dragon, but that will lead to you not having any poise, not any armor, and nothing. It just didn't feel good using the Rock Hard. It would boost the damage of the Knight's Lightning Spear, but not enough to make it worth using. You're getting to Rakshasa through the Ruins of Unti, and that means a main gate plaza in the Shadowkeep first. You're making your way to the right through the shortcut, or go left side around and essentially end up at the same spot. And that is right in front of the Shadowkeep, as you need to go in there to fight Mesmer. There's a Fire Knight that we ignore. We turn to the right and we are getting past Dave, who's lying on the ground here, you can just jump down this respective ladder, make it into the waterfall, then go down this ladder into the coffin, and that will lead you to the castle watering hole, which you ride down towards the Recluse River upstream and all the way to the Recluse River downstream side of Grace. That side of Grace has you just mount your mound, and then over those graves, you're making your way towards the first waterfall. Heads up, you can actually go all the way down for 2 Shadow Tree fragments if you would like to. Otherwise, you're just following the river alongside these sludgy slimies, and then we'll be ending up at the mausoleum. The fight is fun, really aggressive. Just trip her over, stagger her. Don't let her attack. Knight's Lightning Spear, which is absolutely amazing and does so much damage, can be found in the DLC all the way on the left side of the map in the Scorpion River Catacombs. You're getting there from the Templetown Ruins and from the Ancient Ruins base, and that one can be entered from Morth, here, the Morth Ruins, into this body of water. That will essentially take you over there. You can write down, and then we can end up in the Scorpion River Catacombs following this river. Now, this catacomb is plenty damn annoying, and it's full of hating goblins, let's call them goblins, and Shadow Blight, which is even more annoying because that is going to be trying to take you out. And if you're not actually sending it very fast ahead, you might get stuck in one of these Shadow Blight scenarios. Turn to the left, turn to the right. Still ignore any of these annoying statuesque beings. This is where I died the first time trying to record this. Be shot at. Don't get shot at again. They're going to follow you all the way to the right. Don't go to the small corridor. So the big corridor gets smashed. Drink your potion. Get lightly smashed again. Avoided that. Now this is going to come down to the right, up the ladder. And there's 2 ways to do this. I'll show you the one that's easier. We're going to, again, have the Shadow Blight trying to affect us, which doesn't affect us when we're standing here. And then you can jump up on this little there, and still the Shadow Blight doesn't affect you. But this goes down, and you can just run over the Shadow Blight, and boom. That's where Knight's Lightning Spear is. And in order to take these out... Yep, it's an insane clearing tool too. That makes just playing through the game easy. Our mixed Wondrous Physic is going to be the Lightning Shrouding Crack tier for temporarily boosting the lightning attacks in mixed Physique. And then for the second one, you either have attacks restore FP, or the Cerulean Hidden tier, which eliminates all FP consumption, that we can essentially just spam away our lightning spears a bit better. We could technically boost everything with a blood-sucking crack tier, but I wouldn't recommend this since we're playing the Sword Talisman and we want to have full HP. For the stats, at least 40 Vigor, 19 Mind to summon the Black Knight Commander Andreas, and don't worry, I have the location of Black Knight Commander Andreas for you as well. Endurance around 25-20 could probably be enough. Strength 14 for the weapon to wield it one-handed. Dex as low as possible. Just my character class has 15 currently. Not needed. Then you're going to scale Arcane as big as possible. So step number 1 is Faith to 35 and Arcane to 40. So that's the balance, 35-40. And then Arcane just to Oblivion and beyond. As you can see, I'm at 99 because all your damage gets boosted by the Arcane to the max. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to give this a try with or without Black Knight Commander Andreas. And for Black Knight Commander Andreas, there is the video that shows you the exact location, plus some other hidden secrets in the catacomb where he's in. Thank you for watching, and have a fantastic good rest of your day.